Good morning to all the students. Welcome to the physics class. In the last video, we discussed about the physical quantities and physical units of that physical quantity. Now, we have also studied the fundamental units and derived units. Today, we will discuss about the system of units. So basically, there are three system of units. So basically, the system of unit is the set of units. That is, these are the units to measure the fundamental quantities, derived quantities. What are the units we use for that fundamental quantities or derived quantities, and we make the set of the quantity units. Like we have a system that we measure the length in meter, we measure the mass in kilogram, and we measure the time in second. So this is the set of the units. And similarly, we have various system of units. We will discuss one by one. Now, student, our first system is the CGS unit system. In this, it is basically set up by the students. There are two systems which are set up by the France, that is CGS and the MKS. These were set up by the France, and one FPS system, it was set up by the British. In CGS system, we measure the length in centimeter, mass in gram, and time in second. In FPS system, this is basically the British system, in which we measure the length in foot, and we measure the mass in pound, and we measure the time in second. So basically, one more system, MKS system, which was also set up by the France. In this, we measure the length in meter, we measure the mass in kilogram, and we measure the time in second. So students, these were three systems which were earlier used, or we can say these were the conventional system of units. But recent, due to the trade between the various countries, for trading we have to specify one unit, or we have to specify one unit for the one quantity. For example, mass. For mass, according to British system, they measure the mass in pound, but France, according to France system, they measure the mass in the kilogram or gram. So in trading, we have to use one unit. Suppose England want to trade with the France, and they want to buy any quantity. So if they want to buy, then they have to specify mass, that this amount of mass we require. But when they will specify the mass, then according to England it should be in pound, and according to France it should be in kilogram or gram. There is the problem. So to remove this problem, we have set up an international system of unit. In the 1960, a general conference of weights and measures was uh, was conducted, and it was decided that there should be an international system which is acceptable all over the countries, which will help in the trading between the two countries. Now, in this, it was decided that there will be 7 fundamental quantities, which were: one is length, mass, time, temperature, electric current, luminous intensity, and quantity of matter. In SI system, it was decided that we measure the length in meter, we measure the mass in kilogram, we measure the time in second, we measure the temperature in Kelvin, electric current in ampere, luminous intensity in candela, and quantity of matter in mole. And also here symbols were also decided for the basic units. Now students, as you can see here, for meter we write M, for kilogram we write kg, second S, Kelvin K, ampere A, candela CD, and mole MOL. But here you have to remember that in the symbols where to use the small letters and where to use the capital letters. For the units which are on the name of the scientist, जो उस साइंटिस्ट किसी साइंटिस्ट के नेम के ऊपर रखी गई हों, for that units we will use the capital letter, and for other units we will use the small letters. As you can see, Kelvin. So Kelvin was the scientist, so that's why here we use capital K, and ampere was also scientist, we use capital A. Similarly, these other units are in the small letters. So students, this is the method of writing the SI units. After that, after few years, it was decided that there are 2 more supplementary quantities, which are plane angle and solid angle. For that, for the plane angle we use the radian, and for solid angle we use the steradian. So these two you have to keep in mind that there are 2 more. So for radian we use RAD symbol, and for steradian we use the SR. So these are the some of the SI units. So there are complete 4 systems of units. One is CGS, SI, FPS, MKS. So accordingly we use the system of units for our measurement. But the international accepted system of unit is the SI unit. Now students, next we have the definitions of the SI units. We will do the definitions in the next video. Thanks for attending the class.